Kapla, warriors! Today is a good day to learn about armored weaponed vehicles. And so, today is class with Dr. Export, and we will be talking about tanks. I threw tanks on the poll last week, thinking it wouldn't win, and I was wrong. I was entirely wrong. It destroyed. It won. Well, ironically, it destroyed. It won well above the others. So today is the history of tanks. Congratulations, America, France, England, Germany, all around the world. Hello, K-Chim, just in time. Alright, so today will be my last stream until Sunday. I'll be going out of town again. Leaving late, arriving early, leaving early on my return. So when I return, tonight will be my last stream until Sunday, and we're considering playing Minecraft on Sunday. We very well may. Don't want to make a promise, because I might be very tired, but I think it's likely. Yes, of course, Gamma. I'm happy to put it on the poll. Every subject should get its chance. And before we get started, anyone else planning to stay up to roll for Dorothy tonight? Anyone? I am. I'll be staying up to roll for Dorothy and finish my my paperwork that I have to get in tonight. 1F, the cat will be fine. She'll be just fine as always. Alright, everyone. The maintenance is not done as far as I know, but I don't work for Shift Up, so who knows. Alright. Everyone, the history of tanks goes back much farther than I expected. Much farther? I don't know. Connor will be discussing the entire history, so not so much about one specific type of tank, but all the history. Alright. Blue Tut, I mean Summer Dorothy. Jospert, I will be going across the country again for a trip with my family. A very quick trip. From before the Renaissance redacted, actually. So, the history of fighting vehicles, so not simply tanks, but fighting vehicles, you know, the origins, really, goes back as far as 2000 BC. So there were the horse-drawn war chariots in the Middle East used by Egyptians and Hittites and other groups. So this is cool. I believe this image is actually taken from some Egyptian hieroglyphs or Egyptian art, ancient Egyptian art. So they use these as mobile platforms for bows and arrows. So that's pretty cool. And these evolved somewhat as well. There's an evolution of these as well, but I don't have time for everything. Then there were other groups who created armored vehicles or weapons. So in the Middle Ages, there was these were armored wagons used by the Hussites. So these were mostly to transport and protect the soldiers who were inside, and they had the arms. I like this flag. Do you see the flag? A goose drinking from a chalice. That goose is living the high life. Well, the Grand Chief, we're just going all the way back, but we will be talking about armored fighting vehicles as well. And then there were also the Assyrians in the 9th century, who used armored armored vehicles, wheeled siege towers, and battering rams. So you can kind of see that here. These siege towers they were using to attack. So pretty cool. So, next, the next came around. So this is the drawing by Giudo di Vigavano. He created an armored battle car, so it was both moving and armored, and I don't know that it had a weapon. I think it did. Not 100% certain, but this was his creation. Very cool. And then, of course, the famous Leonardo da Vinci's battle car or tank concept. So, it was a vehicle meant to carry many small cannons and protect the crew with a turtle-like slanted armored cover. It would have been pushed by men crank-turning inside. It never actually got built, and likely wouldn't have moved properly or very easily, but it shows how people have dreamed of this concept for ages. Here's another image of it. So this is his drawing. It looks like a UFO, doesn't it? Out of context, the Halo Scorpion tank is the 2500s, so we're a ways off. It will be very good. Okay, if I get another complaint about where I'm starting in the history, I'm ending the stream. If you can't understand how it works when something develops from an idea into something else, then I don't know what to tell you. Alright. And then in 1855, James Cohen took out a patent. Okay. Grand Chief, that's the last one. If there's another comment like that, I'm done. So in 1855, James Cohen took out a patent in England for an wheeled armored vehicle based on the steam tractor. So the steam tractor helped give rise to some of the technology. So this one looks like a pill bug to me. Sorry, it's a bit blurry. That's better. So it's a bit blurry. Looks like a pill bug. You can see the still wheels on the bottom. And so then you can see the spaces for inside. With the cannons. Yes, I agree, out of context. Alright. Oh, whoops. Some of these came out quite large. Then, what is this? What have I done here? Oh, this is so in the 20th century, there were the automobiles were invented, as well as the traction engine. So this is an example of a traction engine. So it's got the steam... I wrote a definition as well. It's a traction engine as a steam or diesel-powered road vehicle used for pulling very heavy loads. So this is an example. And this gave rise to some of the later technology, the ideas for it. Then this beauty was the first self-propelled armored vehicle. So, in England in 1900, John Fowler and Co. Created the armored steam traction engine for hauling supplies in the Boer War, which, I don't know, I think England, I don't know, won't get political there, but I didn't like the sound of that. Hello, Sandyard. Oh, thank you, Reduck, I appreciate it. Yes, it does look like a train. It's but very nicely armored. No weapons yet, though, on it. Just an armored vehicle for hauling the supplies. And then, okay, I had a little trouble making sure to get the right images on some of these. Yes, Redacted, it's in Africa, so it was a war between England and South Africa, I believe, because they wanted... control of the resources, of course. So I believe this is the right one. There was... Okay, they said... What I saw was... the first motor vehicle with a mounted weapon. So this is, of course, not armored. But it does have the mounted weapon. Imagine seeing someone go down the street with this. So this was a powered quadricycle... by F.R. Simmons. Simmons did quite a bit of developing of similar vehicles. And this is 1899 in England. And then, so finally, we're getting towards... So we've had moving weapons, we've had armored vehicles. Yes, definitely a mobile weapon. But we hadn't had something both... armored and with a mobile weapon. And yes, you have to wear a suit when you're pedaling this, and when you're in battle, a little, is this a bolero? Is that what you call a hat like this? And then a suit, and then you just go down the road like that. This is if your neighbor really pisses you off. Okay. Here's another one of those. I don't know what this is. Why is this here? Oh, you can see on top. Okay, hold on. I had a little trouble. Okay, I think this is the right one. But I had a bit of difficulty finding this image. So I believe this has a... So this is armored and then has a mounted thing on top. I had a bit of trouble finding some of these very early ones. Because Vickers, Son and Maxim Limited in 1902... London constructed and exhibited a armored car with a mounted weapon. So this, I believe, has a mounted weapon on top. And then, the fully armored car with a turret was created in France. Again, I struggled to find a good image of this one. In France, 1904, by the Société Charon. That's... sounds Spanish. Anyway, in France and also in Austria. Let's Google, see if I can find the Austrian one. Let's see, Austro-Daimler Company tank? Let's see if I can find it. Oh, this looks more like it might have looked like, right? This must be it. This looks more accurate to what I'm imagining. So there's someone, there's the weapon, you see that? Right there. So there's that lovely thing. All right. So then, they started, so you can see this one still has wheels. So it's not a true tank yet. Still has the wheels. So then, the tracked agricultural tractor helped give rise to the idea of using the tracks instead of wheels. And a tracked armored vehicle was proposed in France in 1903, but there wasn't a lot of interest and motivation because there was no war going on. Then again in England it was suggested, or it was suggested again, but in England in 1908 someone designed a tracked armored vehicle and again it was turned down. Then in 1911 another design for a tracked armored vehicle was proposed and rejected in Austria and Germany. And then in 1912, the British War Office rejected a design for an armored vehicle. Definitely not very forward thinking, because then, of course, in 1914 came World War I. So with World War I came motivation. Yes, exactly, Grand Chief. So supposedly in 1912, the British War Office rejected a design for essentially a tank. But they were like, well, no war right now. And then 2 years later, not so good. And then, so World War I hit. And with it came motivation. So, this accelerated greatly the development of tanks that had kind of stalled in Belgium and France and England. And then with the trench warfare that came with World War I, they found that they needed tracked vehicles that could move off the road, over broken ground, and through barbed wire. So they needed this newer technology. And then in Britain in 1915, they tried using an armored car body strapped onto a tractor. So kind of the prototype there. They're like, will this work? Okay, great. And it was constructed by the Armored Car Division, which resulted in the creation of the Admiralty Land Ships Committee. Does that still exist? I don't know. And this eventually led to the development of the first tank. Does anyone know its name or can guess it? Redacted, I don't know the origin of the word tank. I should have looked that up. Why don't you enlighten us? All right. I'll give you a hint. Yes, out of context is on the right track. Track. Oh. It is a person's name. Oh, what is in my hair? What have the children put in my hair today? It's all sticky. Its name was Little Willy. Weird choice. Yes, Grand Chief, that's right. Little Willy. So, and then they very quickly made who can guess the name of the second one. It's very creative. The second tank. So this was the, I guess it was the mark. I don't know if this would be the 0 or the 1. Ah, interesting, Millie. Is that right, Redacted? Is that what you're going to say? Yes, Sleepy's right. So creative. Big Willy. Now I'm wondering, the first one, Little Willy, was that an insult to someone? Interesting. That's very interesting, Redacted. It's always fascinating to read about how they kept things secret. Like, I heard that thing about the carrots giving you good eyesight was like some kind of... Not a code, but it was like... Does anyone remember that story? Similar. It was like a ruse. It was so that when they would get overheard, they wouldn't know what they were saying. So Big Willy and Little Willy, brothers. Grand Chief, I was wondering that. I have to look up the history of that then. The history of different euphemism for genitals. So Big and Little Willy. And then in February 1916, 100 Willies were ordered to be made. Ah, thank you, Grand Chief. Yes, that's what I was looking for. Very interesting, isn't it? Clever. And then, the Willies were known as the Mark I. And of course, that made me think of Star Wars. I mean, oh my god, I can't believe I made that mistake. Star Trek. Because the Doctor was the Mark I, right? The Doctor and Voyager. Yes, a lot of Willies. And they needed Willies to sit in them and pilot them or drive them. Oof. And also reminds me of Halo, but this tank doesn't get energy shields till the Mark V. Ah, Dirt Feather. I'll save that request for the end. I know, Nijin, I'm so ashamed. I'm so embarrassed. Please don't take away my nerd license. I've worked so hard for it. Started at birth. Alright. So then tanks also developed simultaneously in France, simultaneously but independently, but they were not used until 1917, whereas I believe it was September 1916 that England tried out the tanks. But then the problem with the tanks, obviously they were great, in that they were fantastic new technology, but they were too slow and their operating range was too short, which led to a demand for a faster and lighter mortar. So in 1918 there was a lighter one. This one was lighter. It was 14 tons. The medium A with a speed of 8 miles per hour. Wow, incredible. And an 80-mile range. But then there was this. Who knows what this one is? Very important. Yes, Dirt Feather. They did also break down a lot. I read that as well. They didn't have good, oh, what's the word? I can't remember. Serviceable. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Yes, yes. Who just said that? Yes, Grand Chief and Dirt Feather. Yes. The Renault FT, it was only 6 tons. Incredible. So down to 14 tons and then 6 tons. And they were designed for close infantry support. And it had the rotating turret, driver in the front, and an engine in the back, which is the same general layout used even by modern tanks. So it's pretty cool. Also something really special. Yes, Grand Chief is on it. Something special about these also is after World War I, most of the French Renault survived. So they got through the war and were able to be fixed up, and yes. So did very well. Pretty cool. Yes, Millie, I noticed that. There's a Fiat that I'll mention. Yeah, so after World War One, most of the French tanks survived, and they continued. The war was over, but they were still developing tanks. So the US, they developed the M1917 light tank, and in Italy, the Fiat 3000. And then the French Renault FT was the most numerous tank until the 1930s. And in the development of tanks, France took the lead in developing more heavily armed tanks, whereas England took the lead in developing mobility. All right. And then in the interwar period, meaning between World War I and World War II, countries like the Soviet Union, Britain, and France studied tank use. And the Soviets planned huge armored attacks, or deep battle. The British worked on mechanized armies, and Germany secretly developed tanks despite restrictions. Who's gonna stop me? Catch me outside, how about that? Inventors also tried adding multiple turrets, or lighter ones, tankettes, but most of them failed before World War II. So then came World War II, and of the European countries like France, England, Italy, France had the most tanks, but then the Soviet Union had more tanks than the rest of the world combined. So they had tanked themselves up. Let's see. Which one is this? Ah, yes. Okay. So Germany, in World War II, Germany had the most effective tank force, the Panzer. They used mass formations instead of dividing the tanks. They created these mass formations with the Blitzkrieg, which were fast attacks using Panzer tanks like the Panzer II through 4, and later, I believe this is the Tiger II. The Heavy Panther and Tiger. And the heaviest German tank, the heaviest tank used in World War II, was the Tiger II, which was 68 tons. So compare that to the French Renault, which was it 6 tons? Yes, 6 tons compared to 68 tons. And then because of the German tanks, the success of the German tanks, the US and others developed tank destroyers, which were lightly armored. Whew. And then the Soviet T-34. So this is the Tiger II. I think this is the Soviet T-34, which became famous for its sloped armor, reliability, and mass production, changing the game on the Eastern Front. No, it's not the Panther, it's the Tiger. The Tiger II. So there's the T-34. Consina, I don't know that I know what you were referring to. This is a new topic for me. So enlighten us. And then this was... Oh, so then this was the, it's a turretless, tank-like vehicle, that I believe was used as like an anti-tank. It's the Sturmgeschütz. And then the US Sherman tank was simple to build and repair. And thousands fought alongside the Allied forces. And Germany used heavy tanks like the Churchill and Matilda to break strong defenses. They used also the infantry tanks. What did I just say? I meant to say Britain. Did I say Germany? Britain used heavy tanks like the Churchill. Sorry, the word Germany was underneath. Britain, obviously, it would be quite strange if Germany had one named Churchill. Hello, Revan Wolf. And then... Yes, Dirtfeather, sure. Let's go ahead and get a Panzer Mark II. Let's take this image from the Tank Museum. Here we are. Very nice. Look at these long guns. Where was I? Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, 1F. Sloped armor, yes. It was very sloped. Extremely sloped. And then Britain also used the infantry tanks and the cruiser tanks. And then, the largest tank battle ever. Does anyone know what that was? Interesting, Connor. Anti-tank guns. Oh. Yes, that's right. I tried to get some images. I found this image. I don't know if it's actually from the battle, but I do find it interesting. It just looks so strange to see these driving across the field. So it's, the Battle of Kursk, 1943. The largest tank battle ever, pitting thousands of Soviet T-34s against German Panthers and Tigers. Here's another image. Would have been quite terrifying to be on foot, wouldn't it? Yes, apparently all of you know quite a bit about tanks. I did not. So, moving on to after World War II. So, post-1945. So, the armies around the world merged the heavy, medium, and light tanks into one class. Does anyone know what it's called? One F, how old are you? Dirt Feather, I did not. Yes, Grand Chief. Yes, redacted. Dirt Feather, yes. All the experts. So it was the main battle tank, the MBT. So they had the good armor, the firepower, and the speed all in one. So here's one. And then they look, this one's that dirt color, blends right in. KV, oh, good to see you. I feel like we haven't seen you in a while. And then some new tanks included the US M60 and the M1 Abrams. I believe this is the M1 Abrams. Yes, I believe so. The Britain's Centurion and Germany's Leopard 1 on NATO side, and the Soviet Union built the T-55, the T-62, and the T-72. Cream colored. Would you call that cream, redacted? I would call it more sand, or I guess it almost looks like a caramel creme. So then 1F, yes, I suppose that's true. I'll stay on your good side, I hope. And then key improvements included composite armor, explosive reactive armor, night vision, and stabilized guns for firing while moving. I'm reading Dirt Feather's comment. Yes, that makes sense, Grand Chief. It certainly looks like it was painted for desert warfare. Looks like it would blend in very well. Yes, I suppose coffee, a very light coffee, like a latte perhaps. I'm trying to read, Dirt Feather, were made make low fire. Dirt Feather, can you restate? I don't think I understood that. Let's see. And then, okay, the modern ones. So tanks today are computer smart with satellite-linked targeting and cruise safe from inside reinforced cabins. So here's an example of one. Some examples, the M1A2 Abrams V3 in the US, the T-14 Armata in Russia, the Leopard 2A7 in Germany, and the Merkava 4 in Israel. Oh, Zephyr, what have I done? Oh, Zephyr, I saw a place called Zephyr today, and I thought of you. But I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a restaurant or apartment. I have no idea. All right. Lolo, there was something I was going to read. Smoke launchers were a German invention. I did not know that. Alright, sorry, trying to read. Ah, interesting, Revan Wolf. Yes, we'll talk about that, something along those lines. So anyway, he's the M1A2 Abrams SEP V3. You can see it on the end, the side. I'm gonna make it smaller. Now, I know it needs to be large for you, but it's blurry for me. It's very fancy. I'm trying to keep up with the chat because you guys are giving me lots of knowledge. Alright. Alright. Anyway, so, oh, and then they also have, active protection systems, like some in Israel and Russia, which use radar to detect threats and launch interceptors to destroy incoming missiles before they hit. However, one problem with, in modern day with, tanks is that, drone attacks. So some crews are hanging, metal cage armor on top to prevent overhead grenades. And then, so future design ideas, that people are working on. KV. More sensors, AI targeting, unmanned or hybrid manned / robot tanks, which would certainly be good, right? And smarter protective layers. Let me see. Dirt feather. Let me. Wait a minute. Soviet. Carousel. Is that the right spelling? Ammo rack. Wow. I am struggling to type. You can't see, right? I hope you can't see. No, that can't be right. Did you mean carousel? Like that? Well, I said rank, not rack. Like an idiot. It's not coming up. Is this it? I'm not sure. I don't know. Sorry. Now, for the future of tanks. You might wonder what else is in the future for tanks. And I'd like to show you what I think. Here is one possible future for tanks. But these would be even better if they were unmanned or manned by a, was it there, Zephyr? You know, remotely. So here, it's a possible future for tanks. I think this would be beautiful. A beautiful future. Yes. And I think these could have special little names like Fluffy. They could be little pets. Nijin, that's low. Grand Chief, I'm just joking. I mean, if the Ewoks could take down the AT-STs, I would imagine AT-ATs wouldn't be so good. Ewoks didn't have too much trouble themselves. So if a little Care Bear can take down an AT-ST, then can't be too hard. They just wrap up its legs and it's down. But you know. Dirt Feather. Can I trust you, Dirt Feather? Just a moment. What is this? Is this a game? A novel? Space novel? Well, that looks a lot like Star Wars, doesn't it? Anyway. Here is... Oh, goodness. Wrong direction. Here are the 10 most produced tanks in history. Oh, interesting, Consina. I might have to see if there's a photo. Oh, I see, Zephyr. Interesting. All right. So, Here they all seem to be... Please ignore that swastika. They all seem to be Russian and American and... What is that? German. So the M4 Sherman, which entered service in 1942. The T-62, which entered service in 1961. Oh, sorry, an eyelash in my eye. The M48 Patton, which entered service in 1952. The M1 Abrams, 1980. The T-72... Sorry, I have an eyelash in my right eye and it's quite bothering me. The T-72, which entered service in 1970. The M60 Patton, 1960. The T-26, look how cute, in 1931. And the Panzer IV in 1939. Wow, you can see this. The M4 Sherman is in the lead by quite a bit. More than double the next. Oh wait, that's 25, 22. So almost double the next most produced. And then look at this little baby. Let's see about this walking tank. Walking tank prototype, perhaps? Is this one? Is this real? Trying to find one, distinguish the real ones from the fake. Hard to be sure. I find that quite disturbing and I hate it. So we're going to go ahead. It's fake. Someone said that they tried to do walking ones and they were no good. Obviously some of them are fake. I thought perhaps this one was real. Well, excuse me. Let's try the Wallace leaping tank. What the hell? Well, that's something, isn't it? What a monstrosity. Is this a drawing? Sometimes blurry, sometimes not. Here's a drawing. Interesting. And then, let's try this one. Where did it go? The Tsar tank. Oh my goodness. But look at that. How about this one? What a monstrosity. Yes, Zephyr, is this the one? The Tsar tank? Yes, Nijin. That is really something. Would that even be... I don't even know what to think. Wow. And then, Dirt Feather would like to see. Alright. Is that not a wheel, Zephyr? What do you mean? Don't you see the large wheels? A steering wheel. Oh, alright. Well, that might be harder to find. I'll try. Someone said... Oh no, Dirt Feather, where does your comment go? Give me a moment. The T-55. T-55 tank. This one. Well, this perhaps... Hobby Town. Oops. Look at that. Impractical. Yes, redacted. I would agree. Impractical. So, that is everything I have for you on tanks for tonight. Oops. I lost Let's try this one, the Minenraume tank. Is this it? Which one? This one? Can't read what that says. Let's try this one. Oh, is this it? Well, my pleasure, Dirtfeather. I'm perfectly happy to learn something new. Look at this. Nigel, I hadn't planned on it. We'll see. I too like turtles, Zephyr. Particularly sea turtles. Oh, they're sci-fi on... Ah, understood. Yes, that's really something. Now, does anyone have a favorite science fiction tank? I like the Halo Scorpion tank. And the Halo Covenant tank. A lot of feet. Yes. Was this the walking one? Whoa. Interesting, Gamma. Starcraft, the Lemon What? Excuse me, sorry. The tripod machine from War of the Worlds. Warhammer 40,000. 3 tanks. Ah. Oh, you know, something else I read is that in England in World War I, there were tanks they referred to as female tanks and tanks they referred to as male tanks. Is anyone familiar with that and the difference between the two? Ah, thank you, 1F. 1F, Sophia the Third from the Blaster Master Zero theories. Well, let's check that. Ooh, look at that. I love the blue. Very cool image. Ooh, I like that one. Look at this one. Got the guy out the top and the ones on the side. Yes, out of context, they do make baby tanks. So yes, my understanding, Nigel, was the female and the male difference was in their weaponry, their design. And they were designed to work together, the male and the female. And then, I was going to... What did I miss? Yes, exactly, Redacted. The armaments. Very good word. There was something else I was going to look at. Someone had suggested. Oh well. Do I have a favorite tank yet, Dirtfeather? Difficult to say. I liked that the French Renault was kind of like... was like the big one for a while. And the most successful of World War I. I liked that about it. The French Renault, how they survived the World War I. And, were very light. I thought that was cool. Obviously, it's not the best tank ever made, but I think historically, it was cool. Ugh. Almost time for me to get my steps. I can tell because my butt hurts. Ooh. I like this one. Oh dear. Thanks for following, Zane Baldwin. Ah, and welcome, Raiders from Samvara Gaming. Welcome, everyone. This is the Wednesday stream, which is always a class, where I teach on a topic that has been selected the week before by viewers. And this week, the topic was the history of tanks. So we started pre-tank with the ancient Egyptian chariots, going all the way to more modern tanks with the... Where's the modern one? No. This one. And then previous topics we've had was dinosaurs, space, the science of spices, baking, the deep sea, the love life of Zeus. What else, friends? What was last week? But my main YouTube channel is about a game called Nikkei. It's a gacha game. And I write fan songs, create fan videos, and I voice the videos, and I do impressions of different characters. Thanks for following Constantine E. and Kagura the Goat. Yes, that's true out of context. Tactical Battle Fridge. So, we are about to vote on the next topic, so Raiders, stay here and help vote for the topic for next week. So I say for next week, we narrow it down to 4 choices so I can put a poll in the chat on Twitch and on YouTube. Now, history of written language has not won. It's been in several weeks. Let's give it another chance. History of written language. What else do you suggest for the other 3 options? Oh, thank you for following 4CY2K. Oops, oh, no wonder I couldn't see the comments. 1F, can you say it again? Sorry, oh my goodness, I missed so many. I'm so sorry, everyone. My chat stopped scrolling apparently, so I missed a whole bunch of chat. 1F, can you tell me which fictional tank you wanted me to search? Did I miss it? Oh, right, thank you. So, that's exactly what I wanted. That's what I was going to do, and then I got distracted and forgot. Blaster Master 0. Oh, alright. Here's the nice image of it. Here's 1F's favorite. I like it. Very cool. Yes, Blue Tart, you're right on time. I just got buzzed. And for those of you wondering who raided, no, I do not always speak in a British accent. It is not my native accent. But we do it for the class streams. Alright, so far we've got written language, talking to women, warships, and cows. Actually, I do think cows would be quite interesting, because there's the whole, the history of, you know, the evolution of creatures that led to cows, so their ancient ancestors, and then, cows being, the Neolithic Revolution, when they started to, domesticate. Yes, I do also have a southern accent. Alright, we're going to say goodbye to the British accent, and then I need a transition moment to try to do other accents, because I get stuck. Alright. Getting my steps. Connor, do you mean like videos? Is that what you wanted to look at? KV, video game jiggle is not based on physics. I can tell you that much. Ah, yes, dang, redacted. The Oryx, that's right. Like in the Lascaux cave. Getting my tanks in. Got 2 impression requests. If you got other impression requests, get them in, and I'll do them in a second. Sorry, I need to... My microwave one. Ooh, History of Pirates, K-Chim. I like that. Ooh, Jospert. History of beer and alcohol is super interesting. Because, like, every ancient society, like, around the world had some kind of beer or alcohol. It's quite fascinating. Because, like, was it, Chicha they had in... The Inca had, and then, like, the Egyptians had theirs. Okay, I'm gonna do these 2 impressions, and then we'll need to narrow it down. Okay. Hello! There we go. Getting my chime voice. Big what? Big Willy. And then Advent Ace. A tank? Wait a minute. Kilo has one of those. Oh, sorry. I see. I get the British stuck in there. Let me try again. No British. No British. No British. Well, hello, my citizens of the kingdom. A tank? Wait a minute. Kilo has one of those. Still a little British. All right. Dirt Feathers request. Metal boxes. Still suffering a little from that British. It gets me stuck. Look at the Discord right now, Zephyr. All right. Oh, true redacted. It's broad, but I do think it's a very interesting topic that every society had something alcoholic slash mostly kind of a beer, right? All right, Dirt Feathers sugar request. I haven't done sugar in a while. I'll check out Blaster Master after stream. Okay. 2 sugar requests. Okay, give me a second. Oh yeah, the Sea People's very interesting, Revan Wolf. Okay. Let's see if I can do this sugar. I'm gonna start with Josperts because it's longer and I think that'll help me get into the sugar. Okay. Those tanks are not faster than my vroom vroom Black Typhoon partner. Panzer Vor. Alright. Friends, let us narrow this down to 4. We're gonna include written language in there because it needs another chance. Now, let's include... I'm gonna say let's do the history of alcoholic drinks. How about history of pirates? And then tell me here, do you guys, for the fourth chapter, forced choice, I'm gonna type the options here. And you guys tell me, comment which one to try, so we can decide which the 4th one will be. Do we want, so history of pirates is gonna be in there as a choice, KHM. Do you guys want talking to women, warships, or cows to be choice number 4? You guys see that? I just typed that in. So comment which of those 3 you want. Say just one of those 3. Oh my gosh, Daniel, do you mean for like the accent? I've never tried to do a Jack Sparrow accent. Okay, KV says cow, Jack Trick says warship. I'm trying to keep track here. Let me type this. Okay, cows. Night Connor, we can definitely do that another time. You should have suggested that for the poll. Yeah, Redacted, we're gonna do a poll, but first we're deciding. So the poll's gonna have 4 choices. I have chosen 3 from what was suggested. And then I'm having you guys choose one of the 4th choice. So far it's looking like it's between warships. So warships, women, or cows is what you guys were choosing. History of cows, history of warships, history of women for the 4th choice. Con, you can vote for yourself and for your boyfriend. Yes, that counts. No, Jospert, the cow. Okay. Clearly I'm not explaining myself well. So there's gonna be 4 choices. We're gonna have pirates. We're gonna have written language. We're gonna have beer, and then number 4 question mark. Right now we are first saying comment if you want number 4 to be cows, warships, or talking to women. Trying to narrow that down. No, nation. Unless your family of 5 is gonna all be tuning in. Warships. I feel like so far warships getting the most votes. Gonna give 1 more minute. Oh my gosh. Okay. Looks like warships wins. Yeah, okay, warships. Okay, here we go, friends. How to talk to pirate women on a warship while drinking beer. That's gonna take me a lot of research, including probably some time travel. Joshua, I think I can do it. As a woman. I definitely could not teach about talking to men, though. I would fail. Unless it's a man who likes Star Wars. Or Star Trek. Then I'd be okay. Joshua, you said you got banned? What'd you get banned from? Was it that other, thing? Alright, so poll in Twitch and YouTube. Only Consina gets to vote twice. Ah, Consina, Sleepy, Najin, your vote came in too late. Yeah, redacted. That actually is... That's cool. My strong suits for history? Ancient history is something that I know a lot about. I know quite a bit about, like... I know quite a bit about certain parts of, like, Middle Ages and Renaissance and, like, Elizabethan, which, that's Renaissance, but, and then, I know a lot about, like, prehistory, like, Paleolithic, and then also, I like to, like, things like the history of, like, beer and stuff. Like, I'm always really interested in, like, the history of chocolate, the history of coffee, the history of beer. Like, I'm obsessed with that kind of stuff. Of, like, how it was created, and then how it spread around the world. Sorry, Joshua, that's a bummer. No, I get it. I don't blame you. Nobody would be happy about being banned. You are entitled to have feelings. Now, if it was expletive-filled, then I would have been like, okay, Joshua, tone it down. All right. So, looks like it's... Whoa. Sorry, I got a little dizzy. Whoa. Okay, give me a second. I don't know why I'm dizzy. So, it looks like it's between alcohol and written language when I'm looking at the 2 polls, the Twitch and YouTube. Ooh. I don't know why I'm dizzy. I ate plenty. So, I'm gonna have to do a second poll between the 2. Narrow it down. Don't you want me like I want you, baby? Don't you need me like I need you, baby? All right. So, a showdown between written language. Will written language finally have its day in the sun? Or will beer/alcoholic drinks steal on its very first attempt? That would be such an insult to the written language, but you know? Redacted. Yeah, you know what? We should do that. I'm not encouraging my viewers to drink, but if that's what wins, Feel free to bring your favorite beverage, be it alcoholic or non-alcoholic. I still have some Moscato in the fridge. Still good. I love Moscato. My favorite. I actually still have some beer that I brought from Germany that I was like saving to have with when my sister visited, and then we forgot to drink it. So I've got like 4 German beers that are now like 2 years old. All right, so alcohol for the win. Revan Wolf's ready. Yeah, I say yeah, K-Chim, let's do it. You were so close. Written language. So yep, there it goes. Awesome. That's a super cool topic. We can talk about the history and around the world. I know, Dractrix. I'm sorry. So, just not encouraging you to drink. Bring any drink you want. Any drink you want. It can match the theme or not. You can bring a soda. You can bring an apple juice. Oh, thank you, Out of Context. Out of Context just gifted 20 memberships. Oh my gosh. So Lonecaster. Am I scrolling? There we go. Okay, I was like, why isn't that moving? Selena Nonara, The Timo Theory, Lost Gunner, Matches Burn, Asta Gaming, Dated Healer, Badatera. Yes, it could be root beer. It could be apple juice. It could be soy milk. El Torres, Noah, Texas Spartan 99, Jack Brinkley, is that 21? Oh, nope, there's more. Dennis Dustin, Fight Guy, Selena Katina, Ms. Witty Reads, and Ness. Congratulations! Oh, thanks for thanking Out of Context. She got a thank you. Please, everyone, thank Out of Context because he is helping support the channel and keep these classes going. So yes, next Wednesday. That is the plan. All right, so any last minute impression requests? Oh, and Out of Context has been helping a ton with the clip channel. He's basically the force behind the clip channel. They're really funny too because he's added some great stuff to them. He did some export deep tracks. I'm gonna link the clip channel here. M60 tank, sure, Dirt Feather. Just a sec. M60 tank. Didn't I do this one already? Or they're just all starting to... I've seen so many. Yeah. Oh, wait. Matches Burn, yes, more Nikkei content. So on Monday, I just premiered a preview of a new Nikkei pretend show. So I have the Royal Hour and Crown and Crew, which is like the talk show, the joke talk show. And so I just premiered Kingdom Connection, which is going to be a Nikkei dating show. First episode's going to come out August 4th. It's already done, just getting it ready to air. So yes. And then another Gotcha Suffering will come out next week. And then it's going to be time for another roundtable talk with Crown and Crew for July. So it'll be Gacha Suffering, then a roundtable talk, and then Kingdom Connection. K-Chim, no, because it would make me super sick. I have never been inebriated because I have a disorder that would make that a bad choice. Because it takes like... I had like half of a Moscow Mule and I already was pretty lightheaded. There's a Tank board game? That sounds fun. Oh, thanks, Revan Wolf. I appreciate that. No, Out of Context. I hadn't planned on that. All right. Oh, I see the Jospert's request. To all citizens, remember the beverages for the next week. Oh, whoops. Let me try that again. I screwed it up. To all the citizens, remember the beverages for the next week. It's beverages, my king. Wow. That's amazing, Matches Burn. Everybody see Matches Burn's comment? Amazing. I think I brought up the M1 Abrams at one point. All right, that's true, Redacted. It typically is vegan. All right, so Yeah, sorry, K-Chim. Can't do it. I mean, I could, but that would be end of stream before it started. Wow. Matches burn. Wish you were here earlier. Everybody see? Inside information. Wow. Alright, so, I'm gonna be out of town Thursday, Friday. So next stream is gonna be a stream on Sunday. Special Sunday stream. And then, so that'll be 8 p.m. PST as usual. Maybe Minecraft as a group. What is the phrase I'm looking for? You know what I'm saying. You guys know what I'm saying. I just can't think, playing Minecraft together. Maybe in creative mode, because we need to create something extra cool for my nephew. As he really showed me up. Multiplayer. Thank you, K-Chim, for goodness sake. Man. I have been having the hardest time with the heat today. Like, I kept messing up when my accent when I was speaking in Spanish. Well, not my accent. I was speaking Spanish, and I kept messing up my vowels. Like, switching the vowels. I was like, what is wrong with me? So, anytime. Okay, anyway. Time to go roll for Dorothy. And by roll, I mean use gold tickets like a responsible Nikke player. Alright, everybody. Good luck on your Dorothy rolls. Oh, awesome, Jospert. Glad to have you. Alright, everybody. Let me make sure I didn't miss any impression requests. Alright. Very good. Majram.